Do not avert your eyes. That cow is on fire. It is a tool in this game. And like my luck, it is terrible because it's running the wrong friggin' way, and I don't understand why. The Resident Evil 4 remake demo is here. It is the chainsaw demo. That's what they're titling it. It is roughly 15 minutes long. It is probably shorter if you speed run through it. There are sections you can completely run through. I did 3 playthroughs. This is the recording of the second playthrough, and then there's a third playthrough afterwards. I wanted to see if, especially in the small village section, that altering your playstyle just a bit would make things less problematic. I did find some certain surprises. I did like the fact that there were certain things you could not cheese anymore, like you could in the original game. But let's get to the breakdown. You'll notice almost immediately that the opening section has changed. So you'll walk into this house, it's immediately foreboding. I love the environmental design. I love the update. It is so creepy. It's one of the things that I feel like the original RE4 really did not buy into the survival horror aspect because it was transitioning to horror action. But here it feels that they are trying to at least make certain sections of the game more tense. The lighting is fantastic. I am thoroughly impressed by what they've done here at Capcom. Almost immediately, if you're unsure about certain things in the game, especially certain mechanics like the quick turn, which is not immediately talked about, open up the start menu, go into the tutorial, look up the quick turn. It is going to save your life when you're going through the village because it gets hectic very quickly. This is probably one of the most impressive opening sequences in a Resident Evil game because it really gives you that sense of dread very quickly. It is so unusual for a Resident Evil game to be so deeply involved in horror. And I think that because of the success of 7 and part of 8, I know that 8 really tapered off at the end and really devolved into action. It's so interesting kind of seeing this in Resident Evil 4 because as you remember, heavy action, a lot of action, sometimes a little bit too much. My aim is bad, forgive me. But it is good to get grabbed, especially in this first part. I had two different trains of thought here. I could get grabbed and stab him twice, which you can. You'll see that your knife does degrade after a while. Or I could bring him down, but I think that takes up too much ammo. Your knife is mapped to your L1, and your weapon is obviously L2. Interestingly, in this next section, you see Leon almost immediately turn off his flashlight and move into stealth. I thought that was kind of a cool thing. I'm being honest. I don't think I would have ever guessed a Resident Evil game would devolve into stealth because you're used to just kind of facing zombies and enemies head on. Leon is very capable. He's an incredible badass in this game. But it is nice to kind of give players options in case they just want to clear out certain areas without alerting a number of enemies so that they don't get overwhelmed and they're not wasting ammo. I seriously love the way this game looks. It is visually gorgeous. And yeah, I shot the crows. Yes, they still drop items, so it is important. I mean, it does waste ammo, so if you are doing a hardcore run, obviously you're not going to try to shoot every animal you see. But in the demo, nothing is safe, so just go wild. One of the cool small details about this game is how you approach breakable items. You can just, elbow them or kick them. I think that's pretty cool because instead of pulling out your knife and kind of wasting that animation, just press X or A and it automatically does it for you. I don't remember if the dog is the same dog from the first game that you save, which is depressing if it is. But you'll notice that, this game does kind of throw you for a loop in the beginning. It is really interesting about how they actually approach how enemies, you can hear them off in the distance. They're talking about you. They'll think of ways to kind of swarm you and stuff like that. I really like that. It's a really cool detail in this game. In this upcoming section, I really recommend you try to parry. You can parry enemies in this game. Do not just tap L1. You want a small indicator to show up on your right hand side to pop up before you start to parry because if you mistime that, you will get stabbed. You will take a lot of damage. I really like the fact that in this section, You know, the same things apply. You shoot them in certain limbs, they drop. Shoot them in the head, it'll stagger them, which, you know, honestly is kind of a weird thing already, but you should kill them. And also, if you knock them on the ground, this is my favorite new feature. Instead of you just swiping at them with your knife, you'll sometimes get the indicator R2 to finish them, and it is brutal. Not gonna lie, I did not see that trap there. Honestly, I sometimes got caught up in trying to do speed run. I ran into that trap twice, so it was pretty funny both times because I'm shocked I did it. But this guy in the cabin, so the first time you can hear him, you can kind of bait him out. So I shot him this time and he just instantly died, which I thought was weird because I didn't shoot him in the head. I didn't think I shot him in a vital spot. Very interesting detail, too. Coming up on the village right now, the human head gate. This is fucking cool. Like, super cool because the moment you open it, a head will fall down. And that surprised me the first time it happened. Just like in the original game, when you come up across the village, you immediately go into, or you have an option to immediately see the cutscene. You get to see one of the police officers get burned alive. It is, as expected, incredibly brutal. So once you get to this section, you have a choice. You can go straight in if you want, but you'll notice that the village is actually a little bit more opened up. And it also feels like there's a ton more of these guys everywhere. I tried to stealth around because I wanted to see whether or not anything really changed. And one of the things that really startled me was that in my first playthrough, I was able to just kind of walk across without any problem. And as soon as I started to make my way across to the lady in the far left, I was thinking to myself, oh, I'll just stealth kill her. And then I got caught. And this was absolutely terrifying because they don't even hesitate. They will absolutely just begin swarming you as quickly as possible. So I tried to parry here, got immediately stabbed. This was super messy by me the entire time. But honestly, I love this entire section. It was so intense being chased by every single villager. So you have a choice. You can immediately run into the house, and then a small cutscene will play, and that will bring out Doctor with his chainsaw. Or you can run straight to the barn and then turn around and shoot the lamp. And once you shoot the lamp, it'll force the cow to catch on fire, which is tragic. And then that cow will then run forward and burn a group of villagers alive. Now, I honestly think that it's one of the coolest details in the game. And the fact that Leon throws a one-liner out there is pretty cool as well. I love the fact that he just kind of sits there and goes, you know, bill me for the damages. It's such a really cool touch to throw in different details for a, you know, really familiar section. Here he comes, the man of the hour, the star, the doctor with the chainsaw. This is such a fun section. And what I noticed almost immediately was there's far too many villagers. But it's fine because immediately when you run into the house, you have, I would say, like 10 to 15 seconds to kind of sweep downstairs. You're going to want to grab all the ammo, break the crates really quickly, head upstairs, grab the shotgun, get the grenade. And like if you're like me, you see someone pull up a ladder, kick that ladder down immediately. You want to be able to prevent as many people from entering the house as possible. I'm not going to lie, I don't know what I was thinking here because generally I stay in the house for quite a period of time. I immediately dove out the window, you know, wanted to be cool. Attack the first villager, hit him in the head, immediately kick him. There's two ways up. There's through that window. Actually, there's three. There's through that window. There's a window on the opposite side, and then there's right immediately behind you. The first thing I wanted to see was just how much damage I could do with the shotgun, and I just tear people apart. It is graphic, and it is awesome. Flashbangs still work like a charm. Still a good way to clear them. They stayed stunned for quite a while, by the way, which was something that was very surprising to me. I was kind of shocked. This last guy, I thought he was going to stay stunned for a little longer. You can jump off the roof, and I just try to haul ass. I am running around the village. I absolutely love the fact that I was being chased. And look how many of them just showed up. That is crazy. And yes, the doctor can still block with his chainsaw. And even if you kind of shoot low, he'll block. Toss a grenade out. Immediately a ton of damage. I'm going to try to run through like an idiot. And I think I take a couple hits here or I get grabbed. And this is very stressful because The doctor will immediately chainsaw someone out of the way, and once you throw him, it'll stagger everybody. I was very tense while playing this scene out. You can open up your attaché case by pressing triangle or Y really quickly, but if you're like me, you're going to want to navigate as quickly as possible. I don't even know why I shot at that guy, to be honest. As soon as you start going up the ladder, kick that thing down. For some reason, I remember in the original game, they would immediately pick it back up. It took them quite some time, honestly, which I thought was weird. So my first train of thought on this section was I'm going to get around the roof. I'm going to kind of take some pot shots, which my aim was just terrible. So don't judge me too much. One of the things I love is how long they stay staggered and just how much distance you can kick them for, which is a ton of fun. She took that headshot like a champ. That is insane. And I'm just missing, and I'm just missing, and I just go, nope, I'm going to dive off. So if you've played this game before, you played RE4, you know that you can head up into the tower, which is something I did do because I thought to myself, maybe you can cheese some time off. Let me tell you right now, you cannot. It is that startled the shit out of me, and I am shocked I survived. I am scrambling to swing my knife around. I took a big chunk of damage from an axe. I was stunned this entire time. I was trying desperately to reload, and Leon was taking a sweet ass time. This part stressed me the hell out, but luckily I had some healing, and I immediately sprinted out because I saw him coming. Now you see that indicator right there. You can actually go into a really cool parry scene. I did not because I was just more interested in surviving. And you'll notice that some of the enemies have like this weird, like some will attack, some won't. But when you get to the end and you hear the bells, this is so cool. Everyone just stops. You really don't have an option to attack anybody. And that basically ends the demo.
Tenemos que servir. Al Lord Sattler Todopoderoso.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
As with most Capcom demos, I mean, they do a great job of hyping you up for the full release. I feel like Resident Evil 4 Remake is going to feel familiar and fresh. I think that if you've seen any of the game trailers, they don't take a lot of risk. That they were going to remove a number of characters, but they didn't. They will be expanding on certain sections, which is awesome. Obviously, the gameplay is enhanced and is modernized. I really enjoyed the fact that there's a parry button. I like the fact that they brought back the knife as a defense weapon, but also it can be used offensively. The fact that you can kill enemies on the ground is a big change. I think maybe the one thing I enjoyed the most was that in that village section, in the original RE4, I didn't think that I was challenged enough because there were certain things you could cheese, and obviously you cannot do that anymore. You have to actually move around. Otherwise, you will be swarmed. It felt like there were far more villagers than there ever have been. But once again, Leon is capable in this game, really does a good job of showing you just how capable he is. Headshot enemies, knock them down, move forward to melee, make sure that you parry. Try not to panic, if you get swarmed like me. I was really shocked about how in just a 15-minute demo, how much I really want to play the full release. And that's not just as a fan of Resident Evil, that's a fan of like action horror titles. I really feel though that this is going to be a game that's going to perfectly balance that just by from what you've played so far. So it's been insanely impressive. And kudos to Capcom for dropping the demo the same day they had their Capcom presentation. Very cool. We are doing a giveaway for the Resident Evil 4 Remake. We'll be giving away 2 copies. All you have to do is like, comment on your favorite Resident Evil moment, and subscribe to the channel. That's it. It's free entry. 2 winners will be chosen at random. The giveaway will be live until Sunday, March 19th, Pacific Standard Time. We are looking forward to giving the game away, and if somehow this video gets to 50,000 views, I will throw in an extra copy, more than likely like the deluxe edition, for that lucky winner. But I want to thank you guys for listening, and talk to you next time.